Golden Radio Hour.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, there's a certain water commissioner whose interest in the ladies sometimes overshadows his interest in civic affairs. His name is a familiar one, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, and he'll pursue his adventures tomorrow night when NBC Radio presents another comic episode of The Great Gildersleeve. So when you hear the familiar voice and hearty laugh of the water commissioner from Summerfield tomorrow, why, stay tuned and enjoy another romantic scramble with the one and only The Great Gildersleeve on this NBC station. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC. Countdown for blast-off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X-1. Tonight's story, The Sea Chute, by Isaac Asimov.
We were on our way home to Earth when it happened. 6 of us, coming home as passengers aboard the merchant spaceship Starfire. At the start of the Second Interstellar War, the one between Earth and the planet Chloro. And then it happened.
Now hear this. Condition red. Condition red. We are under attack from a Chloran battlecruiser. All hands forward to battle stations. Passengers will remain confined to the after cabin. Condition red. We are being attacked.
The interception by the Chloran cruiser, the murderous running jewel of energy blasts and force field defenses. We huddled in the passengers' after cabin, terrified, not knowing how the battle was going. We could hear the desperate bursts of steam through the steering tubes as the Starfire maneuvered to dodge the enemy attacks. And then...
Now what?
The beginning of the end, you might call it.
Well, what does it mean, Stuart? You were a space pilot?
It means our generators have been drained of energy. We can't fight back.
But,
All right,
monsieur,
don't worry. They won't destroy us. They need our ship too badly. They'll simply board us and take over.
But what about the crew?
The crew, Colonel? If they have any sense, they'll surrender. If they choose to fight, they'll... Now, they're coming aboard. Now, be very still.
Oh, Mother in heaven, help us.
Be still. If only those fools on deck will surrender without a struggle.
They are fighting.
Yes, it's the end.
We've got to help them.
All right, don't open that door.
We just can't let them die.
You can't help them.
I'm going. Stop him.
All right.
Aristide.
Shut the door quickly.
Aristide, my brother.
That poor fool.
I'll get them. My brother, I swear to you, I'll get them.
Yeah, you better cover his body.
The brutes. The monstrous green-skinned brutes.
They're no more brutes than we are, Colonel. This is a war.
Are you defending them?
I'm merely pointing out the facts.
I ought to strangle you.
Why not save it for the Chloros?
I will. I promise you I will.
Well, they're probably deciding right now what to do with us. We might as well settle down and wait. We sat there, the 5 of us, and listened while the Chloran invaders killed off the members of the Starfire's crew. Among us was Colonel Anthony Wyndham, an old Colonel Blimp type with a lame leg. Wyndham had spent his life in the militia back on Earth, but had never seen a battle. There was Demetrius Poliorkitis, who had just watched his brother being killed by a chlorocarbonizer. Poli was a huge man. He and his brother had tried truck farming in Arcturus and given it up after 2 seasons. Then there was LeBlanc, a sensitive, frightened young man of 22, and Randolph Mullen, who looked like somebody's caricature of a bookkeeper. A mild, balding, milquetoast little man. And there was myself, John Stewart. I was the only one who'd ever had contact with the Chloro people. I had a pair of artoplasm hands to prove it.
It is quiet now.
Yeah, they've finished with the crew.
Mr. Stewart,
Yes, Mr. Mullen.
what do you think will happen next?
Well, they'll put a prize crew of 2 aboard and take us to one of their home planets as prisoners of war.
Only 2 of the Chloros will stay aboard.
Well, 2 is all they'll need. Why, Colonel? You thinking of leading a gallant raid to retake the ship?
Well, simply a point of information, Dasher.
All right, then let me give you another point of information. If you want to commit suicide quick, just open that bulkhead door. 3 steps inside, you'd fall on your face.
But why?
Don't you smell anything, LeBlanc? Get close to the door.
It smells like gas.
Yeah, it is gas. Chlorine gas. They breathe it like we breathe oxygen. They've chlorinated the whole crew's compartment. One big whiff of that and we'd all be dead. So just forget about rushing the Chloros.
How do you know so much about their habits, Stuart?
I lived on a Chloro planet for 6 months. You see these hands? They were mangled in the oxygenating machinery of my own quarters. They grew these artoplasm things and operated. They're weak, but at least I have hands again.
Monsieur Stewart,
Yeah.
will they kill us?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because, in their own way, they're gentlemen. Probably will be interned for the duration.
You call them gentlemen. After they killed my brother in cold blood, you call them gentlemen.
You know, Stuart, you sound more and more like a blasted Greenie sympathizer. Blasted, man. Where's your patriotism and loyalty?
My loyalty is where it belongs, with honesty and decency, regardless of the shape of the being it appears in. This is a ridiculous war. Why are we fighting these people? We can live only on planets with oxygen, and oxygen is poison to them. They can live only in chlorine atmosphere, which is deadly to us. Yet we're fighting them over a bunch of worthless asteroids that neither of us can live on comfortably.
Well, it's a matter of principle.
It's a matter of stupid pride and greed.
I don't like what you say, mister.
Why not?
Because you talk too nice about these greeny scum. They're good to you, eh? Well, they weren't good to my brother. They killed him. And I think maybe I'll kill you, you rotten greeny...
Mullen, grab him.
I can't break his hold. They are coming in.
Foley, let him go.
They saved your life this time. But when I'm finished with them...
Quiet. I think they're opening the lock.
Well, don't get between us.
Foley, don't lose your head. They'll kill us all.
I greet you, Earthmen.
The Chloro was not a pleasant sight to anyone unused to him. He was about the height of an Earthman, but the top of him was just a green stalk with eyes. He was still wearing a spacesuit to protect him from the oxygen in our compartment. In one of his tendrils, he carried a chloran gun. As he stood in the doorway, I could see Poliorkitis' eyes begin to glisten with rage. Then, with a bellow like a huge bull, he threw himself at the Chloro.
He is not dead, merely temporarily paralyzed. You 5 will remain together as prisoners of war. We expect to reach our own planet within several weeks, your time. There you will be interned for the duration of the war. If any of you attempts to leave this compartment, we shall be forced to destroy you. That is all I have to communicate.
Hadn't we better do something for Mr. Poliorkitis?
Oh, he'll be all right. Just hoist him up on the cot. That's the idea. All right, Polly. Can you hear me, you stupid brute?
His voice is coming back.
Yeah. Now, I know what's going on in that thick skull of yours, Polly. You think that when the paralysis wears off, you'll ease your feelings by slamming me around some more. Well, if you do, it'll be curtains for all of us.
How do you mean, sir?
None of you know the chloros the way I do. Unlike us, they assume automatically that any group of Earthmen they find together comprises a biological grouping, like an ant colony. The result is that they consider the group as something holy. Now, they'd never break us up. And if one of us did any harm to another, they'd have us all executed as a bunch of chlorotype perverts, a non-functioning group. So call all the names you want, but keep your hands to yourself or we're finished. My little speech had a sobering effect on the group. For the next 24 hours, we did little besides eat our rations and think. I tried to evaluate them. The colonel I had figured for an old windbag. Poliorcetes was a hate-filled brute. LeBlanc would crack first. He was like a frightened child. Mullen was a nonentity, a mouse instead of a man. Everything he did seemed prissyish. His voice had the quality of furtively rustling underbrush.
How long did you say the trip would take, Mr. Stewart?
Well, the chloro said about 2 weeks.
Gentlemen, if I may interrupt.
Colonel?
Now, it has occurred to me that perhaps you know of some weakness that might enable us to overcome these chloros.
The only weakness they've got is that they can't stand oxygen.
Oh, but there must be some way to get the best of them, man. After all, there are only
now, look,
two.
Before I answer, Colonel, I have to know your motive. Is it to save your own skin or help Earth win the war?
Oh, dash it, man, to help our side, of course. What we're looking for is the way to save the ship for Earth without losing our lives, yes?
Well, all right, let's take a vote then. LeBlanc?
I have a wife waiting on Earth, Mr. Stewart. I do not want to die.
Uh-huh. Hero number 1. What about you, Mullen?
I don't see how we could accomplish it without...
Hero number 2. Well, Poliorcetes?
When I kill Chloros, it will be with my bare hands. On their planet, I will kill dozens, I promise you.
3 down. Well, Colonel, don't you want to march to glory, an old militiaman like you?
Your attitude is very cynical and unbecoming, Stuart.
I see. Well, then I'll have to blow the ship up myself.
Stuart!
Don't worry, Colonel. I don't intend to be a dead hero.
Of course, there is a way we might do it.
What did you say, Mr. Mullen?
There's a spacesuit and magnetic boots stored in that locker over there. We might be able to reach the control room from the outside of the ship.
The outside? But how would we get outside?
Well, this compartment has a sea chute. It must.
What is a sea chute?
A sea chute, my boy, is a casualty chute. It doesn't get talked about much, but all the main compartments have them. They're just little airlocks down which you slide a corpse. Burial in space.
Oh, blast it, Mullen. Suppose you did get outside. How could you re-enter the ship?
Through the steam tubes, the ones they use to guide the ship.
Wait a minute, Mullen. What do you know about steam tubes? I thought you were a bookkeeper.
Well, on Arcturus, I got interested in spaceship models. I studied all about them. On my own time, of course.
Yeah, naturally.
At any rate, I learned that the steam tubes have an access vent directly to the control room for repairs and so forth.
And the chloros, they are in the control room.
What do you think, Stuart?
Well, it's a video sort of idea, but it might just work. We could get permission from the chloros to open the sea chute and bury Polly's brother. And one of us could slip into it, work forward, and climb up through the steam tube. The question being, which one?
What about you? You with your loud talk and your sneers.
I'm no hero, Paulie. I've already said that. My object is to stay alive. The steam tube let go while you were in it, you'd be broiled like a lobster. Now, how about the colonel here?
If I were younger, blasted, I'd trounce you. You know very well with my injured leg.
Yeah, of course. Not to mention my artificial hands. Well, now, what unfortunate deformities do the rest of us have? Paulie?
You just keep talking, Mr. Big Mouth, and pretty soon we'll kick your teeth in.
Of course, that's your standard reply to everything, isn't it? LeBlanc, will you do it?
I cannot.
Not even to get back to Denise?
Please, I cannot.
LeBlanc needn't go. I'll do it.
What?
After all, it is my idea.
Wait a minute. Are you serious, Mullen?
Yes.
Well, how? I don't understand. Why? Why you?
Well, it seems no one else will do it.
But that's no reason, man.
I can't think of any other.
Look here. Do you really intend to go through with it, sir?
Yes, I suppose I do.
Well, dash it, man. Let me shake your hand. You're an Earthman, by heaven. You do this thing and win or die. I'll bear witness for you.
It was quite a moment. Mullen the mouse had suddenly turned into a man. He just stood there awkwardly while the colonel puffed his hand. Poliorcetes seemed stunned. LeBlanc was wide-eyed. And I? Well, I was in a peculiar position, one in which I rarely found myself. I had absolutely nothing to say.
That ought to bring them.
I hear one.
What is it, Earthman?
One member of our unit is dead, as you know. We request permission to jettison his body out of the casualty chute.
You may do so.
You'll have to open the chute lock from the control room.
I will do so. Is there anything else?
No, nothing else, thank you. Oh, boy. All right, come on now, we'll have to work fast. Mullen, get into a spacesuit from the emergency locker. Polly, help Mom with those magnetic boots.
Yeah, hurry.
I'm working as fast as I can. The arm, there.
All right, give me the helmet.
The helmet.
Okay. Now, Mullen, you better scratch your nose if you have to. It's your last chance for a while.
What about radio contact?
You can talk to us. We'll listen in on the helmet set in one of the other suits. The Chloros won't have their set on the interphone frequency.
Wait a moment.
What for?
Dash it, what's he going to use for a weapon? He isn't big enough to fight them barehanded.
Ah, no, that's true. Well, how about one of those oxygen cylinders?
Good idea. Use it to bash them over the head.
Give him one of the cylinders equipped with a reducing valve. Now, look, Mullen, if your magnetic boots fail and you start drifting away into space, open this valve. See that? Now, you can use it like a miniature jet and try to blow yourself back to the ship. Understand?
I think so.
Well, I only hope it works. All right, here goes the helmet.
You'd better hurry. The light is on over the sea chute.
Yeah. All right. That means they've opened the lock. Here. Now, can you hear me? Oh, LeBlanc, give me that other space helmet.
Yes, here.
Let me switch on the radio. Can you hear me, Mullen?
I hear you.
Fine. Plenty of air?
Air's okay.
Uh-huh. Polly, open the sea chute. Okay, now help him in. Are you ready?
Ready?
Well, good luck. Close the chute. Pull the ejector valve. Now. He's out. Oh, God help him.
The light is out.
Yeah. The Chloros have closed the chute lock.
I don't suppose he has much of a chance.
No.
Do you think he knew it?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Should I try to contact him on the radio?
Yes, I think... Wait a minute.
What is it?
Listen, the Chloros coming.
Good Lord. He's sure to miss Mullen.
Yeah, wait. Polly, get your brother's body on the cot. Put a blanket over it. Pretend it's Mullen asleep. Polly, for heaven's sake.
My brother.
All right, you've got to do it, man. It's our only chance. Listen, if Mullen could go out there and
Very
risk
well. I will do it.
Earthman,
Yes.
you have jettisoned the body?
Yes.
Good. Is there something further we can do?
No, We are very tired. Our grief is very great at losing one of our unit. We would like to rest alone.
I will respect your wishes. I see that one of your units sleeps already.
Yes, Mr. Mullen was overcome with grief.
I leave you.
Oh, brother. Polly, I thought sure you were going to rush him.
With that brave little guy out there. What do you think I am, anyway? And to think I laughed at him makes me ashamed.
Yeah, I guess I've been saying some things that maybe weren't too funny. I owe all of you an apology.
Do you think it's safe to try the radio?
Yeah, we better. Hello? Hello, Mullen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Where are you?
I'm standing on the outside of the ship.
All right, now take care. One misstep and you'll be marooned in space. Now, can you find the steam tubes?
I think I've found one of them already. I can feel the rim. I just hope it doesn't let go when I get inside.
Be careful.
I'm going into the tube now. I can feel the ladder rungs they used to repair the inside.
Yeah, well, keep in contact.
I'm in the tube now.
Good Lord. They've let go with a blast.
Oh, well, it may be the starboard tubes. Mullen!
Still here. They used the other tubes, fortunately. Now, if they don't try to correct for over-deflection...
Yeah, keep moving.
I seem to be... Wait. Yes, yeah, I'm at the end of the tube now, where it opens into the control room.
Good. Now, look, there's a small metal door there. Can you feel it?
Yes, I'm afraid it's locked from the other side.
Oh.
I can't budge it.
Mullen, listen to me.
Stewart, I'm scared. I'm terribly scared.
Yeah, all right. Now, hang on. Don't blow up. Listen to me. Are you listening?
Yes.
Take the spare oxygen tank. Bang on the metal door that leads to the control room. The chloros are bound to hear you. When one of them comes to investigate, try to hit him with a cylinder. Now, aim for the stalk on top of his body. Try to blind him. Will you do that?
I'll try.
Well, now, go on. Only one can come. The other will stay at the controls. Now, start banging. Any luck?
No, Wait, I hear something. Something's opening the lock. The door now. I hear... Ah!
Mullen, what happened? Mullen, can you hear me? Mullen! Mullen! Oh, it's no use. They must have gotten him.
Yeah, he was one brave little guy, that one.
But suppose they have just got him in the control room. I mean, maybe he's not dead.
Well,
then maybe one of us could rush them. We could bang on the door and jump the chloro.
the first guy would be a cinch to die.
Well, I would be willing to take the chance.
You?
Why not? I could try.
Not you. I'm the strongest. I do it.
Now listen, you chaps. I'm an old man. I've got nothing to live for anyway. Suppose I throw myself at the ray gun.
Wait a minute, what's going on here? 20 minutes ago, there wasn't one of you who'd risk his little finger to get us out of here. Now you're falling all over each other.
Maybe Mr. Mullen teaches us a lesson, huh?
Yeah. Okay, Polly, give me the wrench. I'll start banging on the door. They say that selflessness is contagious. I guess maybe it is. I'd been a cynic all my life, a man who believed in nothing. Well, I'd come face to face with 4 human beings who proved that I'd been living a lie. I knew what I was going to do now. When the chloro came to investigate our compartment, I had it all planned. If only my poor, weak hands would hold out long enough. Ready?
Ready.
Here goes. That should bring him.
Try again.
Wait, listen. Shh. It's at the door.
Get ready.
It's opening the lock.
For poor old Mullen now.
Steady. No!
Let him have it! Wait! Stop it! It's not the chloro! Wait!
Good Lord. It's Mullen.
Get the helmet off. That's it. All right, now lift. Mullen, are you all right?
I seem to be quite all right.
Well, the chloros.
Both dead. At least I hope so.
Well, what happened?
Well, I banged on the steam tube hatch and a chloro opened it.
Yeah?
I hit him with a cylinder. It blinded him, I guess, but didn't kill him. He grabbed me and pulled me into the cabin. In the struggle, he broke my transmitter. That's why I couldn't talk to you. Finally, I managed to club him down.
Well, what about the other one?
The other one almost got me. It must have heard the scuffle and came into the cabin with a ray gun. What I did, I guess, was pure reflex. the cabin atmosphere was chlorine, of course, and the greenie didn't have a spacesuit on. So I just turned on the oxygen valve in that spare tube. It was like spraying an insect with poison.
Well, you're a brave man, Mullen. I'd have been scared to death. Mullen, what is it? Mullen. An hour later, false hands and all, I was at the controls of the ship, headed for Earth. We'd gotten rid of the chlorinating equipment and restored the oxygen naturally. Mullen was asleep in the cabin under a sedative, or so I thought until the cabin door opened. Mullen, for Pete's sake, get back to bed.
No, I'm quite all right now, really. Do you mind if I watch how you operate the ship?
No, not at all. Sit down. You know, I guess I owe you an apology. I didn't think too much of you.
That's your privilege.
No, it isn't anybody's privilege, Mullen, to despise another. For years now, I've abandoned hope of finding any decency in human beings. I owe you a vote of thanks.
You embarrass me, Mr. Stewart. I didn't do it for any heroic reasons, I assure you. Far from it.
Well, why did you do it, Mullen? That puzzles me very much.
Well, Mr. Stewart, I'm a bookkeeper. 17 years ago, I left Earth to work on Arcturus. I never made much impression on anybody on Earth, although I wanted very much to have people like me. Well, about a year ago, I started to write to my family again. Don't ask me why. And then I asked for a leave of absence to go home after 17 years.
Well, I still don't understand. It wasn't patriotism or love of a woman or money or any of those things. What was it?
Mr. Stewart, haven't you ever been homesick?
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy's science fiction magazine, which this month features A Gun for Dinosaur by L. Sprague de Camp, a story of hunters in the bloodiest and most ferocious arena of all prehistoric Earth, where hunting reptile heavyweights is no job for human lightweights. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Sea Shoot, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Isaac Asimov and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Lyle Sudrow, Stan Early, Bob Hastings, Mercer McLeod, Danny Ocko, and John Gibson. Your announcer, Bill McCord. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week, on a distant planet in a forgotten colony of Earth, a man is ordered to commit a murder. Listen to Skulking Permit on X-1 next week.
The Mysterious Traveler.
This is the Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can. Where are we going? Why, we're going to follow the adventures of a man who thought he could commit murder and escape punishment. I call the story Death Laughs Last. It was while I was practicing medicine in an eastern city that Edward Harrison brought his wife Mary to me for an examination. I could see at a glance that she was dangerously ill. When I had finished my examination, however, I tried to conceal her true condition from her till I had a chance to speak privately to her husband.
It isn't anything serious, is it, Dr. Smith? Oh, please tell me that it isn't.
Well, I'm afraid it's too soon to say, Mrs. Harrison. Until the X-ray plates are ready, I can't say yes or no.
Oh, but...
Now your husband is waiting outside. He's probably beginning to worry, so...
Oh, yes, of course.
Here's your wife, Mr. Harrison. You must have thought I'd kidnapped her.
No, but I was getting a little worried, Doctor. I hope you didn't find anything very wrong.
Well, I took several X-rays, but I won't be able to tell much until they're developed. I'd like your wife to come back day after tomorrow, if she can.
Of course, Doctor. What time would be the best?
Well, any time that's convenient to you. Now, I'll write out a prescription your husband can have filled. Will you step in for a moment, Mr. Harrison?
Sure thing. With you in a moment, Mary.
Of course, darling.
Sit down, won't you, Mr. Harrison?
All right. Now, what is it, Doctor?
Mr. Harrison, your wife is dangerously ill.
Does that mean she's going to die?
Her only hope is a brain operation. A very difficult and delicate operation. Without it, well, I could only give her 6 months, a year at most.
No, it mustn't be. She's got to have the operation, you hear?
I must tell you, Mr. Harrison, that only one man in this country has the necessary skill for the operation your wife needs. He's Dr. Howard Richards, and naturally he's in great demand. His average fee for an operation is about $1,500.
$1,500?
Well, of course, if you can't afford that, you might consider the circumstances and...
No, I can afford it. I can afford anything Mary needs.
Well, then I'll get in touch with him at once.
Yeah, sure. You make the arrangements right away, and I'll get a hold of the money. I'll get it to you by tomorrow, sure.
Darling, help me off with my coat, will you? Please?
Oh, sure, Mary. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Oh, much better since Dr. Smith gave me that medicine in his office.
He's a swell doctor. He'll fix you up in no time.
Did he tell you anything more, Edward?
Not a thing, except that the treatment might take a little time, that's all.
A little time? Oh, dear, I hope it won't be too expensive. Your business hasn't been good, and we've used up all the money in our savings account, and...
Oh, don't you fret about money. Don't you worry about anything.
All right, darling, I won't. Oh, but aren't you going to take your coat off?
No, I've got to get the prescription the doctor gave me filled. You just take it easy till I get back. I might stop in at the shop, too. There's something I've got to attend to there. Mr. Danvers, I'm Ed Harrison.
Oh, yes, Mr. Harrison. Please sit down. I see that you want to borrow $1,500 from us.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the security you offer, your home...
Well, what's wrong with it? It's a swell little house, good section, all in good repair.
Yes, that's true. But you already have a first and second mortgage on it, totaling $4,000. And, well, I'm afraid we can't make any further loans on it.
But I've got to have the money. I've just got to.
I'm sorry to hear that, because there's nothing we can do to help you. Nothing we can do.
You say you're not employed, Mr. Harrison.
No, I own a shop. I'm a locksmith.
Mm-hmm. Well, that means you're never certain of your income. If you had a job now, a regular income you could depend on...
What are you getting at? You mean you're not going to let me have the money?
I certainly wish I could, but under the circumstances... Well, I'm sorry, very sorry, but there's nothing I can do.
I'm afraid the collateral you suggest isn't satisfactory, Mr. Harrison. We'd lend you the money if we could, but we just can't. Sorry.
But I've got to have it. I've just got to.
Sorry.
It's to save Mary's life. She'll die if I
Sorry.
don't. And I won't let her die. I won't.
Sorry. Sorry.
Look,
Sorry.
you must.
Sorry.
Listen. You must.
Edward, you aren't eating. Oh, and you're so quiet. Dear, is there anything wrong?
What? Oh, no, of course not.
You're worrying about me, aren't you?
Why, no, Mary. I was just thinking about making some changes at the shop. And...
Darling, you don't have to lie to me. I know I'm not well, but I'm going to get better. Really, I am, I promise.
Of course you are. Dr. Smith said so. You're going to be well in no time. Now I've got to go out. I have an appointment over the other side of the city with Horace Latimer. He wants to see me about something. Something important.
Edward had no appointment with Horace Latimer, but went to see Horace anyway. For he and Horace had been boyhood friends. Then their paths had separated, and Horace had grown wealthy. But in his desperation, Edward Harrison hoped that Horace would remember the past and would lend him the money he'd been trying to raise all day. Horace could spare it easily. But would he?
1,500. That's rather a lot of money, Ed.
I know it is, Horace, but it's for Mary, for an operation. I've got to have it.
Yes. Why don't you try the bank? You have a house, a business.
I have tried the bank and all the personal loan companies in town. They all turned me down, said the security wasn't good enough.
I see. Well, that's too bad. But I don't quite understand why you came to me, Ed.
Because we're friends, that's why. Because when we were boys, we agreed that we'd each of us always lend the other a helping hand if we could.
Boys don't understand business very well, I'm afraid, Ed.
No, I suppose not. They don't understand business. They just understand friendship. You know, if I had the money and you needed it, I'd lend it to you in a minute.
I don't doubt that at all, Ed. And you can bet I'd lend it to you if I had it. But that's the trouble. I haven't any ready cash. The income tax, you know, and a couple of shaky investments that I had to bolster up lately.
All right, Horace, never mind explaining. I get the idea. You're not going to lend me the money.
Really, Ed? I would if I could, but I can't. I'm sorry,
Save your
but
sorrow for somebody else. I don't need your money, you hear? I'll get it someplace else. Yes, I'll get it. Somehow.
After he had slammed out of Horace Latimer's expensive home, Edward stood for a moment on the dark street corner, staring back with bitterness in his face.
Sorry. Yes, you're sorry. In a pig's eye, you're sorry. What a sap I was to think you were a pal of mine.
What's that, buddy? Oh, was you talking to me?
What? Oh, no, sorry. I guess I was thinking out loud.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, got a match?
A match? Oh, sure. Yeah. There you go.
Thanks. Okay, just hold it like that. Make a move and I'll plug you.
Gun?
Yeah,
Why,
this is a stick-up. Hold hand over your dough and make it fast, see?
My dough? That's a hot one. I'm out trying to raise money myself. We're both out of luck. I've only got $1 on me. Take it if you want it anyway. It's more than I could raise.
Don't try to kid me. Stand still while I see what you got in your pockets. A wallet. A leather case of some kind.
You'll find just $1 in that wallet.
Yeah? $1. One measly buck. And I bet you got a roll hidden in this leather case. It's heavy enough.
There's nothing in there but my emergency kit.
Yeah, well, I'll just see for myself. Say. Oh, this kit is full of skeleton keys and pick locks and stuff. What are you, anyway? Second-story worker?
I'm a locksmith and a safe repairman, if it's anything to you. Now, how about taking $1 and letting me go on my way? I'm in a hurry.
Not so fast, pal. Not so fast. Were you leveling just now when you said you was trying to raise dough?
Yeah, I've got to have $1,500 by tomorrow. What's it to you?
You'd be surprised, pal. Okay, I'm putting the gun away, but you ain't leaving yet. Me and you, we're gonna talk business. Because I got a plan that'll get us both all the dough we need. more beers, waiter.
Coming up.
Well, is it a deal on my proposition?
I don't know, Mike.
Sure you do. There's nothing to it. You can open locks and safes. I know where there's a house with plenty of dough in it. You and me together, we'll go get it. We'll make a team.
But burglary? I ain't never stolen anything in my life.
Listen, you said you needed the dough bad, didn't you? So do I, plenty bad. You said you'd do anything to get it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Then what are you hanging back for? All you got to do is get the back door opened and the safe. In half an hour, you'll have your $1,500 and more. How else are you ever going to get it? Answer me that.
I don't know. You're sure the money's there, Mike?
Positive. I was casing the joint, looked in the window in time to see the old geezer put a whole roll of bills in a safe that's like a bread box. You could open it with your teeth.
All right, I'll do it. I've got to have the money. I'll go on the job with you.
Okay, this is the joint. Everybody's hit the hay long ago. It'll be a cinch.
The luck looks easy. But I shouldn't be doing this. There must be some other way to get the money straight.
Don't be a sucker all your life. You gotta take what you want in this world. If you don't, you'll never get it. Everybody's a crook of some kind. Take it from me.
Well...
Get on. Get that door open. We gotta get inside before we're spotted.
All right. Let me take a second, I think. Yes. There. It's unlocked.
Okay. Get inside. The safe's in the library. Down this way. Don't make any noise.
You're sure there's only two of them in the house?
Yeah, the old guy and his butler. Probably both of them deaf as posts. Here's the library. Come on. The safe's behind the picture on the wall.
This picture?
Yeah, that's it. I'll lift it down. There you are. That safe is just a kid's toy. Go ahead, get it open.
It won't be that easy. But I'll have it open inside half an hour.
Hurry it up. You've been 40 minutes on that thing.
It's coming now. There. It's open.
About time, too. And now let's see what's in it. Here's the cash box. Will I open it? There. Look. Dough, cash, Mazuma. What'd I tell you?
There must be thousands there.
Easy. Come on, we'll count it and divvy it up.
No, never mind. Just give me $1,500. That's all I want. You can keep the rest.
Are you kidding?
No, that's all I want. Just the $1,500 I need.
Okay, it's your funeral. Here you are. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $1,500 bills.
$1,500?
Yeah, for just an hour's work. Easy money, huh? What do you say? We crack a couple more cribs tonight?
No, I just want to get out of here now and...
Get behind this door. I'll take care of it.
Burglars! Jenkins, please help!
What'd you expect me to do? Shake his hand?
Would you kill him? Yes. I'm an accessory to murder.
Cut the guff and let's get out of here. Or do you want to get caught?
No, of course not.
All right, let's get going. Come on, we can...
Stand still, both of you. I have a gun and I have you covered.
The butler.
If you move, I'll shoot. I can see you perfectly.
He's standing on the stairs. He's got a gun. We caught.
No, not yet. We ain't. Not by an old scarecrow with a rusty horse pistol.
Put up your hands. I'm going to call the police. You've done something to the boss.
Okay, we'll put up our hands. Light from me, Will.
Oh!
Shut him. We gotta get out of here in a hurry. No shots. Okay, here we are. Come on in.
But why did you make me come here? Why can't I go home?
You heard me. Come on in. That's better. Now, take off your hat and stay a while.
But I can't stay, Mike. My wife, she'll be worrying. Get home to her.
You got other things than your wife to worry about, chum.
What do you mean, Mike?
I mean the cops. Or have you forgotten you're wanted for murder?
No, I haven't forgotten. I'll never be able to forget. Why did you kill him? Why?
Well, it was either kill them or go to jail. Or would you rather have gone to jail, huh?
No, but I'm all mixed up. How did I get into this anyway?
You needed dough. That's how you got into this. And you got it, so now cut out the sob stuff.
Oh, why won't you let me go home? Why did you make me come here to your room?
You're here so you and me can have a little talk.
Kind of a talk.
Well, chum, that door and that safe open. You and me got a future together.
I won't do it. I won't.
Sure you can always send a little note to the cops.
They'd get you, too.
I'd be a long ways off here. You got a sick wife. You can, I see. You don't think you can pull a job and then go on as if nothing had happened. Somebody's always got to be another.
I did it only for a
minute now, and you can't get out. Wait.
I will get it off my chest.
Oh, no, you do. You see, Dick, and if I talk... Hey, get it, go!
You got me into this. I'll take that gun away from me.
I'll plug you out. Oh!
Mike. He's dead. I'm going to get away.
In a daze of horror, he made his way to the street. Thoughts which he could not control round in his head.
They'll hang me. But I had the money to make Mary. Now they'll catch me. They'll hang me. I've got to. Paid for somehow. But if you can escape, if you're lucky, I need a drink. I've got to have a drink before I go crazy.
So Edward Harrison stopped the street and struggling to control his shaking as normal. He ordered a double whiskey and gulped it. His senses cleared a little. He heard the radio at the end of the bar, broadcasting a warning to the city.
Attention. The police stop for the following man. Committed in the Buxton Park. Please make a note of the following.
Say, buddy, what's the radio off for?
Because I was...
Did he? And I got a night I want to hear it. So I'm going to turn it back on again.
No, you mustn't.
But I'm going to. If you try your gun right here under the bar, see what that dirty killer looked like.
I repeat, beyond height, lean and wiry, with reddish-brown hair, in Buxton Park earlier this evening. Man reported once to... Now turn you back to our regular night owl program of popular dance tunes.
Lean and wiry with reddish-brown hair, huh? Well, that ain't you. You're heavy-set and black-haired. But for a minute there, you had me going. I was positive you was the killer the way you didn't want me to hear the description. I guess you're just jumpy, huh? Well, here, have another drink. On the house.
Thanks. I need some sleep. Yeah, that's what I need. Some sleep.
How close he had come to giving himself away. Edward Harrison hurried. Mike the police were looking for, not Edward Harrison. And they had. Edward Harrison was safe. His own good luck, Edward was asleep. Quiet and troubled by nightmare, Mary was already preparing breakfast.
Good morning, darling. Who?
I was pretty late. I stopped at the shop. I was pretty late, a little work. I forgot to watch the time.
Oh, this morning you look terrible. I know. You're worrying about me. Really, I am.
Of course you are. I'm going to see to that.
What do you think? Dr. Smith called up last night. He wanted to talk to you. Said he had some good news for you.
Good news?
Yes, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. I don't know why. He asked for you to stop in at his office this morning.
I think I know what it is. Yes, sure, I'll go right over and see him.
Oh, but, darling, you're going to eat breakfast first, aren't you?
I'll eat when I get back. I want to see the doctor first. Anyway, I'm not very hungry.
Well, all right, Edward. But please hurry back. I want to know what the doctor says, too.
Yeah, sure, Mary. I'll be right back. But everything's okay now, darling. Everything's okay.
After he left the house, Edward bought a morning paper. Big headlines told of the murders the night before, but he scarcely saw them. His eyes hurried through the story until he found what he was looking for. The news that Mike's body had been found. The butler Mike had shot had given the police Mike's description and then died before he could tell them there was anyone with Mike. So the police had listed Mike's death as a suicide or an accident and closed the case. Edward Harrison was safe. Perfectly safe.
Safe. I'm safe. Mike was wrong. Sometimes you can get away with murder and not have to pay anything if you're lucky. And I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
When Edward Harrison entered my office, he sat down beside my desk and tossed a folded newspaper into the wastebasket. His expression was that of a man who had just faced disaster and been rescued at the last moment.
Good morning, Doctor. Mary said you'd phoned. You had good news.
Yes, Mr. Harrison. I called you last night after I got in touch with Dr. Richards. I wanted to tell you that he had agreed to operate on your wife.
Oh, that's swell, Doctor. And I've got the money right here in my pocket.
Money, yes. Yes, I was also going to tell you that Dr. Richards had said not to worry about it. You could take as long as you wanted to pay it.
As long as I wanted?
Yes.
Then it wasn't necessary. I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Never mind, Doctor. I mean, I've got the money. I want to pay it. He's got to take it right away. Well, what's the matter? What are you looking at me like that for? The operation is going to save Mary's life, isn't it? You said it would. You can't go back on your word. You can, do you hear?
It's not that, Mr. Harrison. Yes, the operation would save your wife's life, but unfortunately, Dr. Richards was the only man in this country able to perform it.
Well, so what? He said he'd do it, didn't he? And I've raised the dough to pay him, so what's the hitch?
Mr. Harrison, Dr. Richards can't perform the operation now.
But you said...
He was tragically murdered last night by a burglar who broke into his home in Buxton Park. This is the mysterious traveler again. Did you enjoy our little trip into the life of a man who thought he could make good come out of evil? Poor Edward Harrison. He didn't believe that crime must always be paid for by someone, did he? What became of him? Well, after his wife died a few months later, he confessed everything to the police. He didn't have anything to live for, poor fellow. But I hope his experience will teach you that crime really doesn't pay. I always say that if... Oh, you're getting off at the next stop. I'm sorry. But perhaps we'll meet again soon. I take this same train every week.
You have just heard Chapter 42 of The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. In today's story, Death Laughs Last, Philip Clark played Edward Harrison, Carl Emery played Mike, and Elizabeth Morgan played Mary Harrison. The Mysterious Traveler is written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, and original music is played by Henry Silverne. The entire production is under the direction of Jock McGregor. And now, an important message for all of you.
This is Jock McGregor speaking. The National War Fund drive begins tomorrow. As you probably know, this fund includes over 22 of the major war relief and service organizations. As the war progresses on all fronts, more and more people will need help. Our armed forces, American prisoners of war, our allies, and people right here at home. And by giving to the National War Fund, you will be helping. Consider just one of the many organizations that the War Fund supports, the USO. More than 3,000 service units are in operation, clubs where our servicemen and women find recreation, dances, educational activities, reading, writing, and game rooms, and religious counsel. The USO is responsible for the traveler's aid desks, which help servicemen make connections and find sleeping accommodations. It operates the lounges in railroad and bus terminals. USO camp shows bring American entertainment to our troops at camps and stations throughout this country and in all the combat zones. Groups will play the jungle circuit in the South Pacific, the desert circuit in North Africa, the grass skirt circuit in the Hawaiian Islands, and the foxhole circuit in combat zones just behind the front lines. We can't measure in money the good accomplished by the USO, but we can help to continue that good work by giving our money the National War Fund. So when your community war fund or war chest representative calls on you, give and give generously.
Listen next time to a tale titled
The Man the Insects Hated.
Another tale of the Mysterious Traveler. The Mysterious Traveler is presented by WOR Mutual from the WOR studios in New York. Beginning Saturday, October 7th, The Mysterious Traveler will be heard at a new time. It will be presented every Saturday evening at 10:30 Eastern Wartime over most of these same stations. So remember the new time, 10:30 p.m., Saturdays.
This is Mutual.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.